All right, what's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 7 different real estate investing hacks that I've learned from almost a decade's worth of real estate investing experience and having seen probably thousands and thousands of transactions. So in this video, in under 10 minutes, you're going to have a decade's worth of knowledge boiled down to basically 7 different key concepts, key hacks that I wish I had known when I was first getting started. Okay, so hack number 1 is if you're a first-time home buyer or just a real estate investor, you can actually use FHA loans or just conventional financing, including 3.5% down, 5% down, 10% down, to purchase apartment buildings. So you can buy up to a 4-unit building using a conventional type of loan or even a first-time home buyer type of loan. And if you were smart, if you were a savvy buyer, instead of just buying like a condo or a single-family house or maybe a row house, what you should do instead is buy a 4-unit building, live in one of the units, rent out the other 3 units, basically live for free if you purchase it correctly. And then maybe a year or two later, you'll be ready to scale up to a 10-unit or a 20-unit or even more than that. A lot of investors that do multifamily investing where they might be purchasing like 50-unit buildings, even 100-unit buildings, they almost all got started with 4 and 5-unit buildings. And then once you get a comfort level for those, you can scale it up from there. So definitely look at not just traditional, houses and things like that. You can look at apartment buildings as well. Okay, so hack number 2, if you're looking on the MLS for properties, look at the properties that actually have bad photos taken of them. I see too many buyers that will just kind of write off a property if it's not like the best, most amazing types of photos. However, what bad photos means to me is that there's going to be, number 1, less competition for those types of deals. And I can't tell you how many times I've looked at properties where they just look so much better in person than on the internet. And usually it's the other way around. Usually people will have like an amazing photographer and then you'll walk in the house and you'll be like, oh wait, this house is tiny. This house, who's their photographer? I need to get their contact info for all of my future listings. However, with bad photos, it just means it might not be a great listing agent. The seller might be pretty motivated, and there's just going to be less competition in general. So definitely don't skip over photos of properties if they're pretty poor photos. All right, so hack number 3, if you're looking for your property to appreciate in value as much as possible, which I'm sure everybody is, try to purchase as close as you can to a Starbucks, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, different things like that. Zillow actually did a study of properties, I believe within a quarter mile and then within a mile radius of these different businesses, and they found that those properties are just traditionally going to appreciate significantly more than if you're much further away from those. And the rationale behind it is, look, when these large corporations make a decision on where they want their location to be, they've put a lot of thought and research into it as far as like up and coming neighborhoods, developing trends, different things like that, demographics. So it's better to rely almost on their research and their underwriting criteria and different things like that if you're looking for your property to appreciate in value. And not everyone, that's not always the most important factor for everyone, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, hack number 4 is off-market properties are almost always better than properties that are listed on the MLS with an agent. And there's many different reasons for this. Number 1 being that if it's listed on the MLS, chances are, tens of thousands of people have already seen it. And number 2, there's a lot of sellers that are just looking for a quick, hassle-free type of transaction. So if you start doing things like direct mail, bandit signs, internet marketing, networking, you can start to find a lot of off-market properties. Okay, real estate investing hack number 5. When you're getting started in real estate investing, you always should get a mentor. However, not everyone has money for a mentor. Some of these mentorship programs can be pretty expensive. However, if you're looking for a free mentor, I'll mentor you for free if you do this strategy. And this strategy would work in pretty much any market. Just start doing marketing for off-market deals, kind of like I mentioned in the last tip. And if you're not sure if it's a deal, just start sending the leads over to the top investors in your market. So if I had someone that's just started sending me leads that they've qualified, that are off-market, I would help you get that deal done. We'd joint venture on it, but I would coach you up along the way and, we'd both get paid. So that was actually how I got started. Was I actually did a coaching mentorship program, but I also partnered with the top investors in my area. So when you're new, you're not always sure what a deal is and things like that. But if you start sending qualified leads over to the top investors, they'll help you out. They're not going to steal your deal, and they'll take it from start to finish. You just have to generate the leads and do the dirty work of doing that. Okay, real estate investing hack number 6. When you're thinking about doing your renovations, your ideas should not be original. You should not just be coming up with like your own creative ideas. I know that sounds really bad, but hear me out. you should look at the comps like within a mile and look at the top renovations that people have done for similar houses in your area. And then what you do is you just cherry pick the top ideas. Maybe you take a screenshot, maybe you take photos of the best renovation ideas from people that have already successfully sold properties in your area, and then integrate those into your own renovation and your own property. And the same is true with like landscaping and things like that, backyard ideas, front yard ideas. You know, a lot of times I'll just walk a neighborhood and get good ideas from the neighbors. You very rarely want to be like the pioneer, the person that's like making some huge statement for the neighborhood. You want to model what already works and choose like the best ideas from the top renovations. Okay, lastly, if you're looking for off-market properties, and that's a big thing with me, I'm always looking for off-market deals. One of the quickest ways to do them is by networking with different wholesalers. So wholesalers are the people that put up the We Buy Houses signs. They might send out direct mail. They might do different various things to get deals. And if you're a savvy investor, what you would do is you would compile a list of all the wholesalers in your area. So instead of just like one or two wholesalers sending you deals, instead you have a whole team of wholesalers that, you know, you're the first person they go to on their list. And some ways that you can quickly build a list of wholesalers is, anytime you see a bandit sign, We Buy House sign, just write down that phone number and call them and say, hey, add me to your buyers list. You should easily, just from driving around town on a day-to-day basis, you should easily be able to find like 5, 10, even 20 of these bandit signs where you can start getting leads. You can also go on LinkedIn and just type in wholesaler and then go to your city and make sure the real estate industry is selected. And you'll probably get a list of like 25 or maybe even 50 or even 100 different wholesalers in your area. And then, obviously you can build your list that way as well. And then lastly, you should be networking as much as possible. So meetup groups, RIA groups, different things like that. You should easily be able to get another 10, 20, 30 wholesalers just from doing networking. So the idea is to create like a team of like 25 or even 50 or even 100 wholesalers that are all just constantly sending you off-market deals. And that's when it gets exciting. Because if you just have like 1 or 2 deals coming in every week, you might get a deal, you might not. But when you have like 50 people sending you deals, like you're going to find some good properties, especially if they're all off market and you tell the wholesalers like exactly what you're looking for. So thanks for watching the Real Estate Investing Hacks. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, please like, please share, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.